Coming up next is a session on personal branding by Mr. Ranju Mohan. Let me introduce our speaker. Mr. Ranju Mohan founded FMCG company, 3-Star Hotel, building DG online for personal branding and business growth coaching, mentoring startups and executives. He loves growing people's personal brands and businesses. Always built high-growth, sustainable and profitable businesses. He is involved in coaching startups of Northeast, mentoring and enabled NERIS IIES incubation, CII project on startups. He was the president, CEO of multinational and Indian companies, Ansell, McEnroe, Henkel. He established consumer healthcare brands in 27 categories in laundry, home care and others in India, Middle East, Africa and Southeast Asia. He built several #1 brands in their niches. Mr. Ranju Mohan is honored with several business, marketing and leadership awards and also been jury chairman of several awards and events. He is a postgraduate of IIM Ahmedabad. I request everybody to be seated with attention before I invite Mr. Ranju Mohan to the dais. Thank you so much.
Hello. Sorry. Good afternoon. I'm sorry, I have a bad throat, so it will be a little challenged. Last 3 days I've been heavily into antibiotic, but I can't let this opportunity go talking to a wonderful team of entrepreneurs. Am I audible and clear? Okay? Thank you. I thank CII and Startup Nest to invite me for this occasion and give a talk on personal branding. Personal branding is a topic of my heart. I have to go back a little bit back into my own life. When I was doing it, I had spent 30 years in corporate sector, from management training, product marketing, sales head, and vice president sales, and then becoming the director and CEO, manage international countries like Russia, Africa, Middle East, Southeast Asia, besides India. So while you were doing all this, you think work is your identity. Then one day, one friend of mine told me, work is not your identity. You are your identity and you need to build your brand. And at that time, he told me, please do your PR. I, as usual, being from Northeast, who are never very aggressive in what they do, sincere in the work, love being silent, and kept on doing head down and keeping work so that you will get recognized. Then I realized that personal brand is very, very important. You are what you are, and people know perceive about you. And that's when I started doing these sessions on personal brand. Today I must have given this lecture to almost 1,000 people plus. And I have my section of students who I do talk about personal branding. And some of them look at it. It's not fully done, but some of them has got better. It's only that 1% or 4% who really implements what you say. 95% will never implement. They will listen from this side. It's over and done. It is like your lecture in college or brands. Till you hit the road, like the entrepreneurs here, rubber hit the road, which means cash flows is the lifeblood of business. Brand is the lifeblood of business. People pay money for work you do. So all that becomes important, then you start behaving. Okay. I am very much influenced by women in my life. My grandmother, she was not educated, who brought up a family of 5 people and established my dad and everyone. With all that, he kept relations going into the other arena so that dad and everybody could do well. Next is my mom, who also worked and built and wealth created what my dad earned. So I say women are much wiser investors than men. Men hunt, women invest. So only they need opportunities. So we tell about a mother, had you joined the corporate sector at your age, possibly you would have made people mad, working and giving, designing everything. I think there are two big influences in life. And today, I am what I am because of the confidence these two ladies gave me in my life. Now, briefly about me, she has said, sorry, you will have to do with my coughing time to time. I have built around 250 crore, 250 crore plus brands, 200 crore plus brands, created #1 brands in 2 categories in this country, and of course, manage many profitable business in my 30 years career. But the bug of what you call entrepreneurship, doing something on my own, always existed. And that I could never give up. Once I gave job up in 1994 to 1996, I started on my own. There was no guides, no mentors. I realized that I couldn't do it alone. So then my old company said, I will promote you, come back to job. So I went back to job. Then in 2017, I decided enough is enough. Now I must do something on my own. Then COVID struck. Then I started doing what you call learned personal branding. This became my ecosystem. We have a 3-star hotel in Tinsukia. Then I have a dealership of motorcycle. I have written one book called Gratitude. Then I do on personal branding. I do some coaching when I have some good mentees. Then I launched my own FMCG company. I said, why should only big boys play? We small boys from Northeast can also play in the big world, bad world of FMCG company, and that's my domain expertise. 30 years I have been building brands. I am called the fragrance expert. My #1 deodorant brand has been created by me in 9 years. So if I could do that, and I must be smelled around 1,500 perfumes to launch so many SKUs in this country. So I said, let me launch my own brands. So I launched 2 brands. One is the space of perfumes and one in the space of air freshener. It's just been almost a year now. So I feel happy when I see a visibility like this in the market. So a small startup without any background can reach a Hyderabad supermarket and place products worth 30,000-40,000 in an outlet. Today I have around 25,000 outlets in the country. I am placed in around 10,000 outlets. I have 120 distributors. In last year, we'll be doing around 2.5 crore rupees. It's not big, but a good starting point to build a brand. And I'm hopeful that we will reach the goal of 1 lakh outlets, 1,000 outlets like this. I am in Amazon, I am in Flipkart, I am in Big Basket. So gradually I am establishing myself as a brand without marketing investments. It is just organic marketing and sales team marketing. So no advertising per se, limited organic digital marketing has been done by me and my daughter a little bit, that's it. So if one can do, if we have the willingness, one can craft. In a category like deodorants, there are 5,000 brands in this country. Air fresheners, around 400 brands. You need guts, you need to have the logic, and find your winning story. So you can always do it. Not yet there, it's too early stage, but I am making my presence felt. So basically 3 things. One is there is explosion of connectivity. We all have mobile phones. We are all connected, whether it's through net, sorry, everywhere. Whether it's to watch band, your walking, your everything. So we are all connected. We are in a hyper-connected world today. So that's one thing which we are seeing. more than 65-70% are today on net in India, on 130, maybe it's around now 85% of the pop are connected to mobile phones, which is a key driver. Second change is we are called as Web 3.0 space. So basic three simple things. Web 1 was the first www when we started knowing about web 50 years back. Facebook, Instagram, all that around 25 years back. That controls our life to a great extent. Now is the people talk about Web 3, but I'm not going to talk about blockchain, technology, and everything. It's what it influences us as marketing person. What has happened, in this Web 2, they are gatekeepers. If you make your model based on Facebook, Instagram, anytime they change the algorithm and your business model is dead. What you thought your cost of acquisition was maybe 5x, suddenly becomes 10x. So you don't know what to do next. They control the game. You don't control. They gave you good platform. The new generation of entrepreneurs find it difficult. So now there comes the case where is Web.3, where basically it is permissions. If you look at, Apple has started at the beginning, now everybody needs permission to access data of yours. And that's going to become more. So your own community, which you create for your business, how you link up with them, whether it is your WhatsApp, whether it's your website, whether it's your own platform you create, app, is becoming more and more critical for business. So these three elements means what? It means you have to be known. As a business person, as a product, you have to be known. I will not talk about other things because AI and all these tools which will enable you to become better. I'm not talking about the way you use them. I'm talking as an entrepreneur, what I need to do in this context of what is available to me. It is not that you fear everything. It is about creating your community to build your business. So third element of change is the brand building model. Brand, it is not what you say it is what your customers say brand is. So the marketing model has shifted now. So the old model, company creates brand, and brand creates customer, brand attracts customer, and customer sustains the business. That was the model. Right? We all think that is the traditional model of marketing, and everybody thinks this is the way brands are built. Company creates brand, and brand creates customers, and that's how. But things have changed because of the free availability of connections of your mobile and instant connectivity with group of people. The business model has changed. So company creates the customers, and customers create now the brand. So the cycle has changed. So if you create a set of customers, they will talk about your brand, they become your tribe, and this tribe creates the brand, and brand sustains customers. First, sustains the company. See, if you look at any business today, the success story of any business or any brands today is the community you create. Today, the best example is Apple. Apple doesn't occupy larger share of the market. But the owner of the Apple, or the buyer of the Apple, you criticize that Apple owner, he will defend it. He is the person who will wait in queue to buy the first Apple, whether the iPhone 15, iPhone 16. Early morning, he will wait for the version. He will listen to the story. Why? the new Apple iPhone, why I should have the new Apple iPhone. So they will defend your brand. So they make the brand. And that's what it is. So why is it happening? Because the brand is, he believes, it gives him an identity. I belong to Apple tribe. And that product enables me to become a more effective or better individual for self-confidence, plus in the eyes of others. So product is no longer defined by the company. It is what value your product brings to or brand brings to your customer's life. That's what matters. So we create community of users, then becomes a tribe, then you get a segment of empowered users. Not all will be empowered. Your community of Apple users not necessarily are fully creative, but then there will be tribe of creative users. Then there will be tribe people who will be really valuing your product, Apple. They live and believe in Apple. They buy entire ecosystem, whether it's mobile, laptop, Apple watches, or any other product Apple brings into this world. So he becomes the empowered user. I, for that matter, till 2017, never used Apple except Apple phone. 2017, I said, let me buy an Apple, let me rewire my brain, right? So when you buy a new product, you really need to understand how it works. So I bought this. For 3 months, I was struggling to use Mac. So I asked my daughter how to use these small things, 2 fingers, 1 finger, whatever. You will figure it out. I said, how do you figure it out? There's no manual. These products don't need manual. That's why it is an Apple, right? So figure it out. And that took me another 2-3 months. Today, if you ask me, can I go back to my old laptop? No. I am a Mac fan. I just believe the way it is done, and the way it is convenient, way it is structured. It may not be the best and fastest looking, laptop, but it works along with what I need. My creativity, my thinking process, my whatever I want to do, my videos, all that, it is accessible to me. So I am now a little bit semi-empowered, not the really empowered. I do defend Apple to a certain extent. So customers join tribe, and this tribe make the brand. So best example, as I was telling you, is Apple. So who enabled building of the tribe? Steve Jobs. He was the leader in chief. Customers build a brand, but who guided that process? So entrepreneur, owner, has the role of creating and enabling the tribe. And that is only possible when he builds his or own personal brand. So company brand plus entrepreneur's personal brand, you create a breakthrough brand. Which is the most powerful personal brand of India that is well known across the globe? Oh, pardon? Tata, okay. Ambani, Reliance, okay. We'll go a little bit back. Yes, it was Mahatma Gandhi. He was not Mahatma Gandhi what we know him today. He was a lawyer in South Africa. The way he was dressed was like a lawyer. When he came back to India, he realized his purpose. He changed and branded himself. These are all branding. Huh? Today we may think Khadi is not branding, it is branding. His stick is a branding. The way he dressed is a branding. Charkha was his branded symbol. He was a smart marketer par excellence. And he changed the country, not only the country, the way he talked about peaceful revolution and brought independence to India. So personal branding is what you decide, and when you decide on your purpose, you have to define what you want to act with. You have to leave the purpose. So he is the best example. Today, you don't have to show anything. You just show his round glasses. We all know it is Mahatma Gandhi glasses. Right? So that's the way branding happens. And at that time, there was no social media. Today, we have social media. We have WhatsApp. So you can create one provided you have clarity in what you want to be. So what is personal branding? Personal branding is the conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception of individual by positioning them as an authority in the industry. That's what Mahatma Gandhi did. He made himself to an icon later on. People, that's a different thing. But he involved from what was a lawyer dress. He was thrown out of train. From what he came back and crafted a personal branding. So three things. How you see yourself, how others see you. That's a perception. And your personal brand is in between. So how much bigger you can make this circle, the more bigger is your personal brand. So normally what happens, your Facebook, we put our fun photos, and Insta, we put our business photos, right? But thing is that you have to be consistent across any media you are, whether it is WhatsApp, your photo goes. So you have to be consistent if you want really to build a good personal brand. See, others continue. Your perception is your identity because that's how others see you. So that becomes your identity. You may think something else, but your perception is your identity. Any brand is about creation of perception. Lux is what? Is the beauty soap of film stars. And when you buy, you perceive that I will feel like a film star. So if you believe that, that's a perception creation, right? Values. What values you have is, if it is aligned to your customers' values, then there will be a trust. If you are not aligned and people think you are different, then they will not align to you, and then you will not be able to build trust of your brand. And the last is your reputation. It is about your credibility, how consistent you are doing the activity, what you say and what you do. Because if you say, what you do and what you show are different things, then the credibility will not be there. There will be many friends who will talk to you nicely and go behind your back and complain. So you are always careful of those people who you don't trust, because you believe that if I tell her something, she will tell someone else. Or if you want to broadcast something because you want to tell something, she is the right person to go and tell the story. So reputations are built. So what you think, what you say, and what you do. That's a human brain. What you say, it's a mouth, and what you action, what you do. And that's the person brand. When these three things are in alignment and in harmony, then your credibility and trust becomes better in general. That is the challenge of today's world. When you want to have fun, suppose you had a photograph of if you're having a career, like you are drinking beer and that photograph goes viral into your network and you become CEO of the company, that video of you drinking beer or doing nonsense will come and haunt you. So whatever goes into the web world, you have to be extremely careful. Some of the things you have to learn to manage today. It is no longer easy as what you like, but there are things which comes and bites you when you don't want it to be. Celebrities forget their past, but the past comes to haunt you because today it is available in the world easily. So it is basically your name. You are CEO of your company, Me Incorporated. We may not have a card, but actually you can write your name. You are CEO and the company is me, you alone. So that's the personal brand. Sometimes we don't put it, but you must define what does this me stand for, what you are. So whether we like it or not, don't like it, we all are brands. We all have our name. The name first someone gave us made you a brand. That is the identity you have. The face you got when you were born, XYZ, that's an identity you have been given. So only question is, how do you stand out? You must know that you must build your personal brand, because if you don't build it, how will others perceive you? So there is work. No brand is built like that. Any brand is built with some definition of what it wants to stand for. Similarly, you will have to define what do you stand for. And if you are clear on your own priorities, then you become, over time, you work on it, you become a leadership brand. And the worst thing is, most people hate talking about themselves. We all are. It's not you, me. I too hate talking about myself because everybody thinks, apne bare mein zyada nahi bolna chahiye. You are really trying to be more than what you are. But the truth is, if you don't speak about yourself, who else will do it for you? Either you appoint a PR agency who will do the job. So it's first, learn to be comfortable about yourself. Talk about yourself. And especially if you are in business, you must learn to talk about yourself. It is, if you remain shy, we are typical Northeast. I used to say I am from Northeast. I don't like to talk about myself. But that doesn't help. I think the most important thing is, if you're honest, you know what you are, feel good about talking about yourself. I think 2 years back, I wouldn't have put the chart of my products on video here. Today I put, because I thought, let me say what I have done. Right? So that's the change that has happened to me after 30 years. It took me 30 years to discover that. Some of you are very young. Do it now. Don't waste time. No one cares about you, what you do, until they discover who you are. And you need to get people to buy into your story. Because if your story is aligned to your product, they start believing you and they trust you, they will not ask you anymore. They will buy into you. That's why you will see most of your friends buy into you. They may give you, you have a unique term and name, but the bonding with them will always remain. That's why they become your friends. Same is with brands. They become friends of your brand when they trust and believe you as a person. And I'm talking about entrepreneurs, entrepreneur owners. Just like we choose brand to buy, people choose to work with people who they like and trust. Same is true for the employee. Suppose you put one of the discussion which we to find right people, pay them more money. Payment of more money is one part. People have to vibrate with your values, with your ecosystem, with your culture and attitude. Then they will come and stay with you for long term. It's not easy. So, and your brand, today you brand, privacy is a thing of past. It's no longer true. Because you are seen everywhere. Facebook, you put something, WhatsApp, you put one thing, your group, your schoolmates, your college mates, your friends, whoever it is, XYZ, you put it viral. You never know which one will go viral. Because when you do 1,000 things, one of them will definitely go viral. So it is, privacy is no longer, the anonymity is no longer in question. You are visible. And if you don't have a good footprint, a planned footprint, digital footprint, which is planned, it is like having no identity. So your brand, if you don't take in charge of your brand, someone else will do it for you. They will post something, and then you take the role what he or she has posted. So better take control of your brand, yourself. Let no one else do it for you. Actually, branding is simple. You need to stand out. Whatever you do, you need to stand out. And that's what I gave the example of Mahatma Gandhi. He was very smart. He needed to be a simple person using Indian identity, simplicity, Indian clothes, Indian habits. That's what made him Mahatma Gandhi. So just few steps which I wanted to put you, because I do have a model, but I'm just telling you these are the 7, 8 steps which you need to really accrue. First is identifying who you are. This is a process. Normally, if you don't know who you are, we all struggle to identify who we are. And sometimes we go through our life trying to discover ourselves, what actually we want and what we really want to do. So the who we are is the question which you need to understand. What makes you, your values, what do you stand for? The second one is how? Understand from others, your friend circles, your colleagues, your business, your employees, how you are perceived. How are you different? So that gives you the seed of being different. Sometimes we don't identify that. I think that is the work you need to look and understand from others' language. That I showed you how you are perceived, who you think you are, and that central point was your personal brand. So now, how you are perceived, what makes you different, if you are clear, then you need to grow what you are different so that people notice you. Then comes what do you want to achieve as a person, as an entrepreneur, as a woman entrepreneur, or as a businesswoman or careerist, whatever you want to achieve. In your goals, your legacy project, do you want to leave it to your family, what history, how your next generation take care of, community, whatever. There's 700, I think Runa talked about 700 farmers. So all that becomes a part of the legacy you want to leave. So whom do you serve, ideally, as an entrepreneur? So it is not about, if you know who do you really serve, all this helps to build your identity. Then you create your own personal brand using the platforms which you think is right for you. You find your hook, what made you what you are. Then your backstory, because not us, like even someone wanted to go back into career and then started looking at some farming community because the family is community. Like I always wanted to be an entrepreneur because I thought that's the best way you can contribute to many people. So that excitement of crafting something always keep me excited. So I like to create new products, and I assume that this product will provide joyful experiences to my customers. And then you have to be consistent. It is not that one day you wake up and make your personal brand, this is going to be my personal brand, and for next 6 months you don't do anything about it. It is not. It is about building the brand consistently with activities you do, and you have to be consistent about it. And when you do it consistently, something will work over a period of time. The big idea doesn't happen every day. It is that small actions over time helps you to build a big personal brand. So create your tribe, which I showed about tribe of Apple. So you also have to create your tribe of people who will support you in this journey. So when you create this tribe, then build your ecosystem. How do you reach them? How do you add value to their lives? How they should connect with you? How you are adding value to their growth? So all that you have to work through to build your personal brand. And then when you build connections and amplify your brand, you finally create authority. Creating authority could be your books, whatever you write, giving back to community, giving lectures, mentoring, all that will help you to build your authority. And this, when it happens, then you become an established personal brand. Books and articles are very, very important tools to leverage to build your leadership authority. Because people who write books are thought to be great writers. And with AI today, I think you can enable and get a good creative person to help you. One can write a good book. It is not very difficult to manage, but it's a work to be done as a project, and there is a model to create around the book. Book helps, articles helps, posts help. All these you will have to do. You can't avoid not making it. It is not that I love to write articles, but now I have made conscious effort to write articles. Now I have made conscious effort to write books. So it is not, it's still in stage where hopefully it will get partly published next year. But still I know this is an important element of the game. So one thing, always look at being number one in whatever category you talk about. Never try to be too generic. Be good at one thing which is unique. Today, I realize one thing, like in my case, people tell I'm good in selecting perfumes, what works. So nowadays I say I'm a perfume expert. Okay, so they are coining it for me. So once I get that idea, I think I should use that also as a part of my enabling of the process. Second part, as I keep on talking about personal branding, over time in next 1 or 2 years, people will know me, okay, he talks about personal branding. And third, maybe because I build business, okay, he knows something about building business. Because I have to earn the right? If tomorrow my FMCG business it does maybe 100 crore business in next 5 years, I have earned the right to talk about FMCG business and that category. Be different, find the hook, how you are different. It is never easy, but you will find or create a hook. I show examples of singers who make different identity. They'll put a lot of earrings, right? Different looking earrings, because they know they will be seen by that earring. Why do they do it? Because it gives them significance. And significance means someone notices you. So what is that thing? What makes you different and makes you different? Someone can wear brooch, like I think the German lady, she used to wear brooches. So yeah, so if you wear brooches, that becomes an identity. So find that one which if you wear, you will start being known. It's difficult with women because they keep, it don't mean anything about, they love dressing well, which is a great thing to do. But when you want to create an identity, you need to find that single hook, what makes you different. Like I used to have a lot of dresses, all different dresses, whoever used to buy. Now I have simplified my life. Don't worry about, try to wear simple jeans or black pant and white shirt and one light colored shirt. That's it. So the lesser you have, you start getting the persona of what you want. You don't need time to think what I will wear today. So and then you start dominating with that identity. So once you become, then you become famous. 6 tips. Use the right social media where your target audience is. Always niche down, be small, very focused. Don't try to be generic. If you try to be generic, you don't have an identity. Your profile picture in whatever you do matters. Whether you put in Facebook, use professional photographs. Some friends of yours will be good, use them. Don't use whatever you can do. I think it's very, very important because that's how you are soon seen. Be authentic, tell your story. Story showing, always it is about videos, no longer about storytelling. Not easy. If you practice well, story showing will happen. Learn, then it helps try to be a thought leader in one subcategory which you think you are good at. If you practice niche, thought leader goes together because that becomes easy. Because if you keep on doing one thing more and more, you become better at it. And try to show your story, not tell. Reinvent continuously to be relevant. Have something to say relevant to market, is otherwise no value in business. Develop a personal brand strategy and continuously evolve your brand. Always remain relevant. We all know when I do like this, you know one actor who does this? Yeah. Shah Rukh Khan, 35 years back, was like this. Right? 5 flops, one after the other, made him change to be relevant to what he is today. Right? 1,000 crore business. He still romances, but being relevant to today's context. So you have to remain relevant. If you're a human being, you can't remain. And he is 58, 59. So that was my last chart. Branding is not what people say about you when you are not in the room. It is, that's what, so when other people talk about it, is when you are not in the room. I created my own actions, so it is a template for creating my own action. So you will have to create a template for what you need to do for building your personal brand. So I do follow. I'm not fully there. Since I have this template, it means I have work to do. So I wouldn't have done this. Today I have a template. And because I have a template, it is work to do. I'll get expert people who know this area, personal website, they will craft for me, so I will get it done. So you will have to create your own action will to build your personal brand. So this is my last chart. So I leave it at this. So I'm sorry I had a bad throat today.
Thank you so much for this wonderful session. Any questions from the audience? We are ready to entertain around 3 questions. Any questions on personal branding, what we need to do? And yeah, there's one question from Pallavi.
Hello, sir. This was indeed extremely insightful, and thank you for the knowledge sharing. So my question is, of course, on a personal level. So you say that we need to speak about ourselves, otherwise who else will? But there are also, if we keep speaking about ourselves all the time, people also get like, okay, she just talks about herself and she doesn't listen, or things like that. Also, it also has a negative connotation at times. Speaking more and more about yourself. So how do we handle that? So how much do we speak about ourselves?
I think any storytelling is not about only you. It has to have other characters into the story. It has to be in events where there are villains. If you look at the Shah Rukh Khan movie, there is a big villain in that. Without villains, you don't get. It could be your personal life villains, or it could be other villains for others' life. At the end of the day, when you talk about your community, You must, your challenge, your story, or your idea must give a perspective how it will help or improve other people's life. How you can give value to other people's life. So your values has to match other people's value and both has to align. And if that happens, well, your storytelling about yourself, I think that's where it will work. It is not about only talk. I don't mean that you need to talk only about yourself. Your storytelling, backstory is the important part. How you reach where you are. Right? So that people understand you. That your integrity, your authenticity is there in that story.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Any other question?
Hello, sir. I just wanted to know if your product is excellent, it's very good, but your marketing isn't, I mean, your branding isn't, how do you balance that? I mean, it has to be vis-a-vis, it has to be a good partnership, right? Your branding also and your product. But there are some people who think that the product is excellent, I don't need to kind of brand it or I don't need to market. Do you think that kind of product will survive today's days?
That is like the personal brand of mine, right? You
I
work,
mean, for anybody.
your work will tell your role and you get your career. You do over time, but do you have enough time? Number one. Number two, today in this age of social media, if you network well and find your tribe, first your believers, because true believers will love your product and they will build your brand. So you have to nurture your true believers. If you have added, your product has added value to your first buyer lives, I think they will tell your story. I always keep telling first 100, next 1,000, next 1 lakh. But the first 1,000 who is loyal to you, get them on board, let them talk about your product. And then you can build stories around it. So you will have to get it around the ecosystem, because if you don't have large monies like anyone else, so you have to use what is available to you as a resource. Today, I use people who talk about my product, they believe in my product, they show their products. So I use their photographs into my stories, and then I sell it back to my team, my sales team. So there are believers, so I get them on board. So my road may not be still perfectly, but the same is Apple. If Apple's story is right, if your product is great and you have changed some people's life, they will talk about you when you ask them to talk about it.
It's a
But
patience
find
game.
them, not patience, find them. So the quicker you find them, the faster you will grow. And use the right platform to broadcast.
Thank you.
The last question that we'll be taking.
Sir, as you said that your personal brand is what you think about yourself, what you are, and it's between and what people think about you. How will you come to understand, like how will you come to know what people think about you? Like people are really nice on your face and they can't be other in their mind, right? So how will you understand what they think about you?
I think there is a steps-wise exercise you can do. So you can get some friends known to you, some relatives known to you, and some unknown who you know distantly. Ask them to write about. So this is an exercise by itself. So one is you do the discovery through 3 groups. Second is like a normal consumer products, we do survey of the customers. So you do the customer of your target customers. Second, you yourself decide on the roles. What roles do you play? There is a mother role, there is a sister's role, if you are a wife's role, wife, if an entrepreneur role, and friend's role. So when you do this role, there will be some elements which you are very forthcoming and people know you for that. If you write down all what in the roles you play, you will start finding some common words which will come. What about you? So
Like how much I'm justifying to that role, that's the main.
Yes. So if you discover that, then you will finally integrate that, and then you can
That
write
is from
your
my
chart.
end, no, sir.
But I can send you a chart how you can do that. It's not a problem.
That is from my end, and from others end, like I
No,
need
one
to
is
do the
yourself,
survey, like,
and then you are doing survey of others, your friend circle, what they tell about you. You will get it. See, sometimes mirrors, which is your closest friends, tells you, you don't listen to it. I am telling about myself, and I was vice president at the time, sales and marketing. My HR fellow told me, whatever you say, it is very transparent in your face. In corporate sector, that's not a good quality. You must learn to say it politely, with a smile, even though you're... So he said, go to the bathroom, tell what you want to say in front of the mirror 2 times and come back and tell. What happens when you tell that aggressively in the mirror, you start cooling down. Then you start using a polite language. I think that was the best gift an HR person can ever give me. Otherwise, HR people never give gifts. Okay?
thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
He is there, Pranjal is there, he was in HR, so he laughed.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. So we've come to the end of this session, which was very enlightening.